Thanks for watching Java with John AZ. Very much appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who's subscribed, made comments, followed me along. Greatly appreciated. No matter your age, I guarantee you or somebody you know has always said they're constantly tired. Procrastinating, gives you something to do for tomorrow. If you got trouble focusing, maybe a little bit of self-doubt, that happens. But if it's chronic, it could be a sign of no motivation or a lacking of it. That was to prove a point. Fix my shirt. So, no motivation just means stagnation. It means you're standing still. And life, like first-person shooter games, video games, if you're standing still, you're going to lose. So, you want to make sure that you keep your motivation going high when you need it, especially when you're doing task projects, whether you're working on your life, home life, your family, your friends, work, whatever it might be. So there are ways to stay motivated at that work-life balance without burning out, because that's also a thing. So the first thing you want to do is just get started. You got task list, whatever it is, to-dos, but you don't know where to go, just start. One of my role models is Isaac Asimov, science fiction writer, professor. He's wrote hundreds of novels, reports, books, and any good thing. But his day always started out with him writing. And this typewriter, blank piece of paper, and he would just start typing. And he just started. And if he liked what he wrote, he kept going. If not, the paper went out, he put a clean one in and just started over again. But he got started. Because even if you're making a little bit of progress, you're still making progress. A little bit of a win moving forward, that builds positive energy, and that'll keep the momentum going because you want to get that motivation going. So you're basically, what you're doing is you're getting out of that funk by changing your mindset to saying, oh, I can keep going. So that's one thing to do. The other thing is to have routines, habits. I talk about this constantly. If habits form whether you want them to or not, and if you control what habits you form, the better your life will be, because now you determine what the habits are versus habits that are formed for you. For instance, my mom always taught me to pair socks up before putting them in the dresser drawer. Well, one day I'm going through and I'm pairing up white socks. Well, WTF am I doing that for? They're all white. Threw them all into the drawer and grabbed them as I needed them. That was a habit I had formed because that's the way I'd been taught, but I developed a new habit because I figured out there was a better way to do it. So changing your habits will help. Some of that has to do with changing your environment. Way too often, there's a lot of us, many included, turn on the TV as background noise, and you just get into a routine, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't, if it's good, that's good. If it's bad, it's not. But it is a routine. It's a habit. So one of the things I learned to do in the evenings is I don't turn on the TV, I turn on the radio. Put on music that will suit what I'm doing. So if I'm going to read, I will typically put on some classical music. And the cat likes classical music, so he'll lounge around with me and do that too. But it's changed my environment. If I want to be energetic, play different music. Something that works for me, but you know what that would be for you. There's also ways that changing your environment, not just at home, but how you do work. Like for me, for instance, I get a lot of work done when I'm sitting at a coffee shop, a cafe, sports bar. Sports bars, for some reason, come up with the best ideas. I don't know, tell you the reason why. It's because of all the distracting noises. It makes me focus, especially on coffee shops and cafes. Focus what I'm doing more. Uh, Plus, it gives me the chance to eavesdrop on others to get some ideas, but that's a completely different topic. Sports bars, I come up with ideas because there's so many distractions that you never know when an idea will hit. So if I change where I am working, physically doing, changes the mindset again. Again, this is what we're trying to do to build that different habit, different routine to get the motivation going and flowing. One thing or another thing, goal setting, collaborating with others. If you've done goal setting, you share your goal with others. This way it's a level of accountability. At the same time, you either know somebody or you're gonna meet somebody who's similar, having a similar challenge getting going and started. So you share your goals. Again, subtle accountability. Give you somebody to talk to about ideas, getting honest feedback, helping to propel you because they've got ideas you may not have thought of, and that'll give you some good ideas to get going too, some new ways to think. You always want to be around positive people too, because there's too many negative Nellies that are around, doggy downers, that'll ruin your vibe. So you want to make sure you're around positive people. Same time, you have to be positive too, because otherwise nobody's going to want to hang around with you. Crowd in the bar restaurant business, a crowd draws a crowd. Positive people bring in positive people as well. They attract them. So you want to be positive too. If the other thing you want to do is, because we have this tendency to look at what we're missing, what we hadn't accomplished, what we hadn't gotten done. Excuse my voice. Bad weather screws up my voice. So I appreciate you paying attention through that. If you spend as much time concentrating on the good thing you've done, as well as here's what I got to do next versus I didn't get this done, that'll change your mindset. That'll be a little bit more positive. Think of too many times we think of a to-do list or a task list as objectives. Think of it the opposite way. Instead of a sheet of paper with everything crossed out, take whatever's on your to-do list and you've accomplished it, you finished it, move it to the look what I got done list. So now you got a positive list to look at the end of the day, the week, the month, whatever you do to track. That in itself will encourage you to be motivated. So pat on the back, even if you got to give it to yourself. So, coffee break. Nothing special, the usual coffee, milk sweetener coffee. It's actually hot this time instead of being room temperature warm. Anyway, another thing you might do is make a little fun out of it. Make mini challenges to yourself. When I finish a project, whether it's for work, writing, cleaning the tile grout at home, whatever it might be, I give myself some sort of reward. It might be a candy bar, it might be a few minutes of playing a game, or it could be 5 minutes to take a nap. I don't know, whatever it might be. But it's along those lines of, when I get this done, I get this. It's like, don't touch the floor is lava kind of thing. The candy bar and the nap are bribes. The floor is lava is a challenge. So think about what you can do to work into your routine to give yourself either a reward of some sort or a challenge. For me, like if I have to write a 400-word blog, set myself a time limit. You have this many minutes to write your first draft, and you can do it. So it would work, but just make sure you can accomplish it. If you're going to say to yourself, I want to be able to run in a marathon, and your first time out, you're going to go run 50 miles or 30 miles or whatever it might be, you're not going to be able to run a marathon. You're going to get discouraged. So make sure that it's an attainable challenge without losing the challenge part. If suddenly you're becoming less focused on what you're doing, shift to another task, another project. If I'm cleaning the grout in my bathroom, I get halfway done and I'll go do something else. Vacuum dust, let the cat beat up on me, something like that. Same at work. If I have doing accounting, numbers, database, clean up, tedious work. So I'll take a break in there just to make sure I don't get burned out, give myself a chance to take a rest, which you also need, but that's a different story. There's a video on that you can watch on why breaks are important. But I'll go for a walk, I'll talk to somebody, I'll do some exercising, talk to a friend or a coworker or whoever that's not work related, just to give myself some sort of a break. Even shifting projects might be a break. As I said, I might go from spreadsheet to working on a flyer design just to give myself some balance from tedious to something that I like to do a whole lot more than working on spreadsheets. The goal is to make sure that you get yourself motivated or to stay motivated. Breaks are as important as I mentioned because you can burn out. So, and you'll feel energized after taking a break. Being motivated is essential just for life in general, whether it's home or work. Keeps you moving forward. You want to be able to have, you're motivated to do a purpose, to complete something, task at work, whether it's some sort of project, a report, cleaning at home, teaching somebody a new skill or learning a new skill yourself, whatever it might be. And it's easy to lose motivation with too many distractions. I'll have the radio on in the background while I work, just for something, background noise to keep it from being too quiet. At the same time, I'm not putting on heavy metal where I'm going to want to sing along with it or do a little bit of headbanging. So I'll put on music just as a motivator. You find what motivates you. The routines I mentioned create positive behavior and encourage you to be motivated, get things done. In essence, what you're trying to do is create a flow of activities, however that may be, and by changing your environment, getting small tasks done, working with others, those are all paths to create a flow for your work. Once you have this, it's easier to create a life and a lifestyle you want. So stay motivated, be motivated, help others to be motivated, and you'll find you'll get a lot done. So appreciate you watching. Gonna finish up my cup of coffee before it turns too cold. So thank you again. And as always, have a great day, great week, and a great year.